So a game that's come into the limelight more recently is Project Zomboid, and it's only going to get better. Stick around to find out just why that is. Right guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this one we are discussing the future for Project Zomboid. But before we talk future, let's look at a brief history of the game. So it first showcased in 2011 as a tech demo and first released in 2013. Yes, it's nearly been a decade since its first release. It's on par with another great zombie game title called DayZ for the amount of love and time that has gone into them. Before it was even released, a few of the dev team members had their laptops stolen with a large majority of code missing, which obviously set them back. Even weirder, some got locked out of their own home for a few days due to a car bomb going off in the area. It's rather a crazy start for game development. However, the team overcame the odds and managed to push out the game even after these major delays, even doing a talk at a game conference titled How Not to Make a Video Game, where they talked about all the things they have learned on their journey. Since release, they have done a complete combat overhaul, a complete graphical restructure, added vehicles, cities and maps and more. It's the small details in this game, like not leaving the oven on in your home, as you may not have a home to go back to. So what's next? What does the future hold for Project Zomboid? Well, first off, we will go with the awesome but less exciting news, and that's 100 player servers. I know, this could be epic or an absolute bloodbath. I can only imagine the possibilities if you could get 50 plus people to cooperate and build and survive in Project Zomboid together, creating a huge community with farms, power, people scavenging, people on guard. Sounds rather epic if you ask me. I for one am looking forward to seeing what people come up with in these servers. I mean, you could have 4 different factions, each with 25 people, all duking it out to survive through the zombie infested cities, and that sounds pretty mega. Now, if you own Zomboid, you can actually try these 100 player servers by opting into the unstable branch of the game and give them a go right now. The release is soon, so this might be outdated as of this video. They might already be out. So the next major and rather exciting thing to come is NPCs. So on the screen you will see footage from the Indie Stone's new blog update, and every person you see in the game is actually an NPC, whether they are driving or creeping about through houses. These are all NPCs and are part of the developers' stress tests, with over 500 NPCs walking around on a map and 400 driving vehicles, which sounds insane already, but wait till you hear the rest. So to keep you guys in the loop, the devs were going to implement hunting, which would entail animal NPCs, but with the modding community so vast and skilled, the devs knew that if they implement this first, well, modders will mod and use the code to create their own form of NPC humans and stuff. So the developers decided to go for bringing in the human NPCs first. Now I'll bring up the roadmap here so you can take a little look. There is a ton of detail which isn't on the roadmap, but I'm going to tell you it now, and it isn't surprising there's a ton of detail because that's what these devs should pride themselves on. So here's a passage from January the 6th this year as to where they were at then. So they say, we've got a lot of NPC code. Lots of cool systems, from RimWorld style priority and job systems, personality systems, procedural story event systems, combat systems, autonomous survival behaviours, advanced group behaviour systems, vehicle driving systems, and a whole bunch more. They say while nothing could be described as 100% complete, the vast majority of the hard work has been done. It's functional and is extremely cool. They say near the bottom, a good analogy is that we've got 2 rooms. One is full to the ceiling of extremely cool and complex circuit boards and wires that we spent years making, and the other room is empty. Trying to tidy and assemble everything in the first room will be a nightmare, so we'll start moving bits into a new room, setting them up, plugging them in together and making something cool out of them to release. After release, we'll continue bringing in more pieces and attaching them, and so on for perhaps 2 or 3 builds as per the roadmap. So to put the full room into context, we'll bring up some tweets now from one of the developers called Chris Simpson regarding the NPCs, and you'll understand then at the depth that these guys are trying to hit. So the first tweet we have is, so before game start, assuming for now the default start date, I'm generating a ton of families, starting with grandparents, giving them children, marrying the children to other families' children, giving them children if they're old enough, then I divorce some of the parents. Then I'm remarrying, marrying or making single people partners, then giving them potentially more kids. We'll do some kind of modelling for same-sex relationships before release, but just getting the basics to create family connections thus far. I potentially kill off anyone who may have died of old age in the family tree, then I split them all into households. Grandparents likely living alone, perhaps with their children, older children moving out to their own places, fiancés or partners maybe moving in together, etc, etc. Then I assign each household a random house on the map to live with sufficient bedrooms, and then that will become their start safe house. Finally, I pick random amounts of people from each household to be away from home when everything has kicked off, splitting family units up across the map as some are at work, college or whatever they're doing. The people away from their home are given the goal of getting back to their loved ones. The people at home will be hiding in their home, perhaps considering fleeing if they all get back together. Then we'll kick off the sandbox and let it all unfurl. NPCs may have a burning need to find their loved ones, they may arrive home to see them all as zombies, and so on. And thus the pot has been stirred to start the evolution of the world from an NPC perspective. The idea here is for realistic ties between characters to exist, so stepmothers, half-brothers, uncles, brother-in-laws, and so on. This will factor into the NPC stories, giving them existing relationships. We'll mix in out-of-towners and whatnot to mix it up even further. Every character will have a story from the start of the game. Sure, we'll probably spawn in new out-of-towners or randoms when needed, but the survivors of these core families will persist and have events that they'll hopefully be able to recount to the player since game start. Now, this sounds absolutely incredible, and if they can implement such a deep NPC system, then I'm sure games in the future will probably want to try and jump on the back of this. And of course, interacting with NPCs will be rather interesting and engaging itself. I'm sure we can invite them to our safe houses, get them to defend, or put them out to work and maybe go on loot runs for us. But I'm wondering if we can interact with an NPC, learn that they are trying to get to their family, for example, and then help them get there. Maybe there will be a reward or an achievement for doing so. At this point it's all speculation, but these devs have already created something incredible with their game, so I'm sure what they bring out will only make the game an even better experience. So let me know what you think. Are you hyped for the future of Zomboid? Because I know I am. Remember to subscribe for more from me. I'm Break. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.